hi. Didn't see you there. Just a disclaimer before watching the video. This interview does not show how you should be studying for Physics B and does not represent the views or opinions of Mr. Sckalor in any way. Enjoy.
So Max, coming out of honors chemistry, you were a pretty good student, but were you prepared for the challenges in Physics B?
Oh, what? Oh, was I prepared? Yeah, absolutely. I definitely had what it takes coming in to succeed in Physics B. I mean, I was so confident that I didn't even do the summer assignment. It was optional, right?
It looks like you weren't too worried about physics, so how did the first test go? Were you prepared?
The first test went really well, actually. I think I got a majority of the questions right, even. Yeah, I did. I got a 53, so that's more than half, right?
That was really... wow. But how did you prepare for the test?
It's never a good idea to try too hard going into a test because you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. So I was pretty chill about it. I would go on WebAssign, stare at a question for a minute or two, and then I'd go to Facebook for around a half hour or so. And then that'd repeat about like 5 or 6 times over the course of the day. So by the end of the day, I'd gone through around 1 or 2 questions. I was pretty prepared going in. Probably why I did so well. Alright, enough of this. Let's poke. Excellent. Let's go to Sckalor. Add a friend. Alright, you probably will ignore that one.
Andrew!
Would you leave me alone? I'm trying to study.
Very interesting. So did you take a lot of notes in class because you didn't study so much at home?
No, not really. I have a strict policy that prohibits me from taking any notes in class. It's much easier to really understand the information and absorb the material if you're not taking notes. For me, taking notes is just a distraction.
But were you really focusing on Mr. Sckalor, Max?
Well, I mean, yeah, a little. But you can't really feel comfortable in the class if you don't treat it like your home. So I would take out my phone, respond to some emails, send a few texts, everything I'd do if I were in my room. Yeah, I focused on Mr. Sckalor a little, but most of the time I had my phone out just to make sure that the classroom really felt like it was home for me.
Really? Mr. Sckalor let you have your phone out during class?
Of course, Mr. Sckalor lets everyone have their phone out in class. That's why my participation grades were so high. They're like over 50 every quarter.
In other words, what I'm trying to say is that a probability function represents both a fact and our knowledge of that fact. A fact insofar that it assigns an initial time, it assigns at the initial time of...
Darn it!
Excuse me.
Sorry.
I'm trying to teach a lesson here.
Sorry.
Function does not represent a course of events in the course of time, but instead it represents a tendency for events and our knowledge of those events.
Anyway, we just had the AP a few weeks ago. How do you think that went?
I think it went pretty well. There were like 10, 15 questions I was really confident about. Then there were another like 20 or 30 I'd say that could have gone either way. And then just like 40 questions or so I just definitely got wrong. But I probably could have pulled off a 2 if I did pretty well on the part 2s. So yeah, it went alright.
I've heard kids start studying for the AP months in advance. How did you prepare?
Well, like you said, a lot of people would say it's best to study a while in advance, but then you just forget all the information that you reviewed in the beginning by the time the AP comes around. So I started studying at midnight the night before, and I went right through to the start of the test, and that way everything was really fresh in my mind, and I think that's really one of the reasons I did so well. Looks like it's about time to start studying for my APs. Chapter 1, Kinematics.
That's a very interesting strategy. Thank you for coming outside with us to participate in this interview. I'm sure your interview will be very helpful to Mr. Sckalor's prospective students.
I forgot to mention, there's one more crucial thing to make sure you succeed in Physics B. You know what? Never mind. It's fine.